Well, viewers will no doubt be pleased to learn that our Defence Department has used our hard-earned taxpayer funds, no, not to help our flailing Defence Force, but to produce a Harmony cookbook. What insanity will they cook up next? Joining me to discuss this is the Daily Telegraph's Tim Blair and Mark Nicholson from Stepmate Studios. Welcome to you both. Tim, this has got to be some sort of joke. We're in the most precarious time geopolitically since World War II. Do they think a mean pasta will help stave off our enemies?
They should be promoting recipes of death. And, I mean, there's a certain beef Wellington
Aaron Patterson might be able to nominate one.
My work. Yeah, you mentioned World War II. Imagine if in World War II, every so often our soldiers took a break to flick through the latest sushi recipes coming out of Hiroshima. And it's not exactly mission critical to get your venues correct.
No, it isn't. But more broadly, Mark, do you think, Defence Minister Richard Marles has ordered these sweeping reforms of his department? Do you reckon this is the kind of thing that will be culled first?
It has to be, surely. Like I was much like most people. I woke up and saw that this morning and went, "Oh God, we're cooked." This is what's going on, as you said, geopolitically. Look what's going on. Iran's cooking this up, cooking up nuclear bombs. We're nuking rissoles. I don't know what we're doing in this cookbook. We've got AUKUS falling apart. This is what we're up to. But I think you've nailed it, Caroline. I reckon this might be part of a bigger strategy here, which is lure them in, make them think we've got some woke, incompetent, useless, pathetic defence force. Don't show a defence force. Give them an invitation to dinner and serve them up a lethal dish of death, Tim. A beef Wellington with a secret recipe, serve that up, and they never saw it coming. Maybe that's what it is. But unfortunately, I don't think Richard Marles is capable of such a strategy, unfortunately. No,
I don't think so. I do know someone in custody who has a recipe for one of those recipes. Now, look, if only there was a recipe for fixing diplomatic relations, I definitely know a Prime Minister who could use it. Look, let's move on to something else. Should motorists be entitled to a toll-free day when they get stuck in traffic for hours on end due to complex accidents? There was really heavy congestion yesterday here in Sydney in all directions following a 4-car crash on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. One person had to be freed, but as compensation, the acting opposition leader in New South Wales, Damien Tudhope, floated this idea of a toll-free day. Tim, your thoughts?
People realise when they live in Sydney that it's a great big city with lots of things called cars and lots of lanes of traffic, and that every so often things might just go a little bit, outside of the boundaries, and there will be collisions, as painful and often as deadly as those collisions will be. This is reality of living in a big city, and Sydney slows down a huge amount when just a few splashes of water hit the road, let alone we have head-on impacts that require medical and emergency attendance. So I don't think it's going to make a great deal of difference if they throw a few bucks at each motorist. Also, it's just a little bit sort of shy of where they should be policy-wise at the moment. Instead of just compensating people for a 15 or 20 minute or half hour or whatever delay it was on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, maybe look at why energy prices are insane and why New South Wales is copying the worst of them.
Yep, that would be a good place to start. Now, Trump says he would be putting America first, and now he's hiking up the costs for foreign well hikers. Here was Trump announcing his latest executive order.
I've just signed an executive order to raise entrance fees for foreign tourists while keeping prices low for Americans, and we're going to do that. The national parks will be about America first.
Mark, will this have an impact on your travel plans?
No, I'd be happy to pay it, to be honest. I don't know. I'm a bit flat on Trump in general after the last couple of days with the Epstein list stuff. I'm super flat on him. But you can't walk away from it, just how much he does want to put America first. And this is one of those things. Like, I looked it up. We don't have like a comparison here. We don't pay for national parks. But SeaWorld, like a theme park, you know, that's $129 a ticket. That's just one day. That's not a 3-park super pass. That's just one theme park for a day. That's tourism pricing. That's tourist pricing. That's not what nationals should be paying. That's not what citizens should be paying. So another way to phrase this is not that tourists should be paying more to go to national parks. It's that citizens should be getting there in there cheaper in the States. So I kind of agree. If I'm going to go to the States, I'll save up my shekels. I'll get down there, and I'm happy to tip in to help the national park, and I think it should be the same for SeaWorld, Movie World, Wet and Wild, all the same down here as well.
Yeah, look, the prices are exorbitant. You know, in Singapore, they charge you more if you're a citizen to go to the casino because they want less people to go to the casino. The foreigners, they're happy to take their money. But Tim, with tips, unfavorable exchange rate, a trip to the US is already out of reach for many Australians at the moment. Do you think that this executive order is going to have an impact on us here?
Well, I'll be there next month, Caroline, so I'll be able to report firsthand on poverty and my own personal hardship. But I think Trump, for all of his obvious financial acumen and creativity when it comes to government policies, might be missing something here. Why not make entrance to the parks free for foreign visitors, but you have to pay to get out, rather than maybe, you know, there are angry bears, there are terrifying pythons, there are all manner of creatures in parks. You know, there's alligator Alcatraz is opened up down in Florida. If you're paying to get out, it's not going to be a few bucks, is it? It's not going to be, you know, $120 that they're paying up at a place in Queensland. Oh, people will be paying thousands, and very willingly too.
I mean, Mark, this probably didn't help your feelings about Trump. All these latest tariffs in the news today, we learned about this AUKUS deal might cost us more. I mean, at this point, we really need Albanese to secure a meeting with him. But do you have any confidence he's going to be able to do that?
Zero. Absolutely zero. Like, I wouldn't trust this bloke to hold my phone, let alone deal on behalf of the country. No, if anything, he's going to make this worse. And as we just saw from Rabbi Shmuley as well, just before I was just watching the segment while I was waiting to come on air, he's going to make it. He's going to put his foot in it and going to make it worse. If anything, I don't know. We just keep quiet, and maybe it'll all work out without him. That's the best I can hope for, because he's just super negligent. I don't know what to expect.
Maybe it would work out better without him, actually. That's a good point. Look, lastly, to a big day in Barbie history, Mattel has just launched its latest Barbie doll who has type 1 diabetes. As well as pretty frocks and heels, her accessories include a continuous glucose monitor and an insulin pump. Tim, I'm sure, look, some will welcome this as a great move for representation, but really, what is next? Colostomy bag Barbie?
Well, I'm actually kind of in favour of this one, Caroline, because
please.
Type 1 diabetes especially, you know, type 2 diabetes, you know, as you get up around my sort of age and dietary habits and alcohol hobbies, type 2 is, you know, more of a self-inflicted thing. Type 1, kids get it, and they have to sort of deal with these sort of issues. So, no, I'm fine with diabetes Barbie, as long as we don't get to the foot amputation Barbie, which is one of the more drastic side effects of that illness.
Yeah, foot amputation would be a bit awkward. I mean, actually, I would like to see type 2 diabetes, Mark, because that would be a plus size Barbie. I think that's a politically correct term we have for that now. Will you be buying one of these dolls?
I think it's genius. I agree with Tim. I think this is capitalism, by the way. I think, like, I'm looking forward to, because it's a genetic condition. We've got asthma Barbie coming as well, which is, you got to think, this is all about the extras. You've got to buy the insulin for type 1 diabetes Barbie. That doesn't come free. You've got to update that. That glucose monitor not free. You got asthma Barbie, you got to get the Ventolin pump. Where you got anaphylaxis, she gets this little Barbie EpiPen. There's a whole bunch of extras there. This is not wokeism. This is capitalism.
Mattel needs to have both of you as consultants. Tim, Mark, thanks for your time.